Hey guys, it is currently 9:13 in the morning on the 25th, and I'm going to give you one more quick update here before I brush my teeth and go to bed. So after working on the dealer, which I believe I showed you, I moved on and started the fourth book in the Young Bow series, which is the one that Always Watching was for. And this one at the moment is called Initiate the Boys, and I'm probably going to leave it at that. But it kind of depends. I just don't like writing books without a title. It's very hard for me. So this is what we've got at the moment, and it will probably stay as far as I'm concerned. I didn't get very far. I started writing the prologue, and I finally gained a bit of traction after working on it for like an hour. But before that, things were just going very, very slowly. And I wrote 426 words there, which is nowhere near as much as I wanted, but it's still words, and that's something. But it brings my total for the day up to 1,953 words. So I have a lot more words to write when I wake up, and I have stuff to edit and whatever. I would like to finish editing BV before the end of the month. That is the goal, but I set a lot of goals at the beginning of the month, and if I don't reach them, I just put them at the beginning of the next month. They're mostly just a baseline idea of which books I want to work on the most and whatnot, so it's not like a huge deal if I don't ever meet those goals, especially when it's not a book that I'm publishing right now. Like with Man of Darkness, if I didn't edit the fourth edit this month, or if I didn't finish the fourth edit this month, and if I didn't start edit 5 this month, I would be way behind for an October release. So those goals I kind of have to stick to pretty hard and fast. But when it comes to like finishing Always Watching or finishing JTS or editing BV, those things aren't happening. Like, I'm not publishing those in a couple months, so it doesn't really matter if they're finished right now. When it comes to my series, when it comes to, first of all, Man of Darkness, Cut to the Kill, and Ashes in the Light are all standalones. You don't have to read anything else to understand them. When it comes to my series, I'm never again going to start publishing a series until the entire series is written. I published the Baker series before I was done writing it. I published the Other Side series before I was done writing it, and I published the Ashley Jones trilogy before I was done editing it, if nothing else, and I hadn't done the third rewrite. And I only did the third rewrite because I absolutely hated the third book, even more than I hated the first two books. But by the end of it, I didn't like any of those three series, which is why I don't talk about them. It's why I don't promote them. They're not on my website. The only place they're at is Amazon, and it's because I physically can't absolutely remove them. And Goodreads, because they're linked to Amazon. But because of that, and because I was younger then, and I've learned since then, I do know that, for me personally, I don't want to start something and start publishing something that I can't remove when I don't have the rest of it done and I don't know how it pans out. There are series that I start writing and then I just don't finish, or that I can't go on with. Like, when I had finished writing A Rose by Any Other Name, you know, a couple years ago, and then again like a year ago when I rewrote it, if I had just published that when I was done with it, I would have eventually gotten through a second book, and then partway through a third book, and the third book never would have been published. And then I would have rewritten the first book again anyways, because I hated it, and it just wasn't working. So for me, it's just not, it's pointless to start publishing stuff before the series is completely finished, for me. That's not like a hard and fast rule that everyone has to stick to. People publish books and then they write the series later. That's whatever. I don't care how other people do it. I'm telling you that this is how I do it, and you can do it however you want. That's the magic of all of this. But because of that, I set certain goals that have to be done at a certain time, and then there are other goals that are much more flexible, like when to finish books, when to start books, so on and so forth. So the goal is to finish BV before the end of the month, which means that I need to edit like 2 or 3 chapters a day every day, but I honestly can't remember how many it is. But I'll only edit BV today if I get some more words done on Initiate the Boys, and then if I get through JTS and The Bludgeoning of Caitlin MacLeod, and then the Stuff and Things Count, which I usually do Untitled Mysteries for, and then BV. So it mostly depends on how I'm feeling when I wake up, as long as I don't sleep in, and as long as I actually get some work done. once I wake up. Sometimes I don't actually start writing until like 6 p.m., which is a little insane. But I'm going to hopefully actually stay awake when I wake up instead of going back to sleep after I let the dogs in, because I'm tired when I first wake up, but if I just stay awake for like 20 minutes, I'm wide awake. But a lot of times I just go back to sleep because I think it's going to make me feel better, even though I know deep down that it's 100% not, and that I'm always miserable all day. So we'll see how it goes. But I would love to hit my 4,000 goal this afternoon after I wake up at a more reasonable time, and then I would like to get some editing done and make some massive progress in BV again. But we will see how things go, because not only would I like to have it edited by the end of the month, I would also like to have the chapters all reformatted for another beta read. So we'll see how things go, I guess. But otherwise, at this point, my eye is killing me. Not my eyes, just the one. It's this one this time, which I think it might have been the last time I talked about it, but before that, this eye has been bothering me for the past 2 days, and now that pain is gone, so now it's in this eye instead. It's really joyous. It's like when one of my pains, like, lowers itself a little bit, a different one just kind of pops up, and it's like, hey, here I am, would you like me to make your life difficult? And the answer is no, but it doesn't care. So I had it yesterday, too, and sleep didn't help, and closing my eyes didn't help, and whatever. But it does help, if nothing else, to not be blinking as much, and it helps to not be, like, moving my face as much. My eyebrows are very expressive, and I try to control them a little bit, but it does hurt my eye every time my eyebrow moves, or every time that my face moves too much. So I'm hoping that sleep calms that down a smidge, but we'll see. So, I think I have, like, maybe one more thing in the living room to shut off, and then I'm going to brush my teeth and go to bed, and hopefully the dogs won't be pains in the asses, and I can sleep, and hopefully they both won't want outside right now at this very moment before I go to sleep, but we will see, and I am going to go to bed. If things go well, I will see you sometime shortly after 3 o'clock, let's say, after I wake up and I've had time to write. But if they don't go well, I'll see you sometime closer to like 10 p.m. because that's kind of how it's going right now. But that's all I've got for the moment. So I will hopefully see you in a few hours, but if not, I'll see you tonight with an update. Alrighty, it is 8:04 p.m. and as you can imagine, things have been slow today. My one eye has still hurt a lot. I've put some eye drops in it and that has seemed to help a little bit, but if I move it around too much, it still hurts. But I tragically can't stop my eye from moving, so there's that. But I have made a little bit of progress in Initiate the Boys. I'm at 979 words at the moment. I finished the prologue, which is with the main bad guy of the book, and I have started chapter 1, which is from Beau's point of view. Things aren't going too bad at the moment. I did just take like an hour break from writing because iZombie was on and the TV in here wasn't working because it's raining outside, so I went and watched it in the living room. So I haven't written anything in the last hour, but I am going to get back into it now and see if I can't hit at least 1,000 words, but we'll see how fast things go once they actually arrive at the crime scene, and we'll go from there. If I don't get to editing today, it's no big deal. I can cycle around tomorrow. I can always make up for lost time with editing because editing tends to go faster than writing does. But otherwise, that is all I have for this very moment. I'm going to get back into writing and see how things go. I expect them to still continue to be slow because, again, my eye hurts a lot. It's not so bad when I'm facing, like, straight forward, but like this, when I look off to the side, if I blink while I'm looking off to the side, it hurts. Sometimes if I shift my eyes too quickly one way without, like, turning my head at all, it hurts. So I'm doing my best, and again, the eye drops have helped a little bit, if nothing else. But we'll see how progress goes, we'll see how things come along with this book, and we'll go from there, and then I will give you guys another update when I have one to offer up.